Life is filled with what-if moments. Like, what if Justin Bieber actually had talent? Or what if Lady Gaga did not want your love and all your lovers' revenge? Then you have more serious questions like, what if the Nazis won World War II? Apparently the answer is not that great according to Wolfenstein The New Order, as the granddaddy of the modern first-person shooter returns with a new souped-up shooting adventure. Once again, you play the role of Tough as Nails hero BJ Blazkowicz as he fights the good fight against the Nazi war machine. You start out in the waning moments of the war as the Allies mount a last-ditch attempt to take out the villain Death's Head, who's responsible for the technological advancements that are giving Nazis the upper hand. One thing leads to another, and BJ regains his wits 14 years later in a world ruled by the very foes he failed to take down. Presentation is something the New Order does and does quite well. The game sports a nice graphic look and design that provides a nice break from shooters set in more modern times. This includes its use of set pieces that take you from the coast and countryside to a new glitzed-up version of Berlin. I also like the melding of both old and new technologies for a distinct look, which include power suits and cyborg attack dogs. Wolfenstein certainly has its own style and manages to make its experience look fresh. Then there's the audio, which is par for the course for the most part, but also throws in some reimagined pop tunes with amusing consequences. Story also shines in the New Order, especially when compared to the more forgetful ones seen in most shooters. Folks who love digging into a meaty campaign will enjoy the latest rendition of Wolfenstein thanks to an interesting plot that's driven by well-written characters. It's a pretty sad story that has its share of heartbreaking parts. The foes in this game are portrayed quite ruthlessly, leading to many uncomfortable moments. It's a story that actually had several non-gamers glued to their seats when I decided to play the game for an hour and a half during a party in my house. Party! In my house! In fact, those non-gamers actually looked genuinely dismayed when I decided to stop playing and get back to the party. Gameplay, while not groundbreaking for the genre, is still quite polished and feels nice overall. It actually combines some old-school shooter mechanics with more modern gameplay elements, resulting in a pretty good experience. In addition to having several weapons, for example, you can pretty much carry as many weapons as you pick up, with the exception of heavy machine gun turrets that you disengage from their stands. You can dual-wield weapons as well, which I don't really recommend for weaker enemies due to its quick ammo usage, but can help bring tougher enemies down faster during boss fights. Overall, switching between these weapons is okay, but can get wonky, especially during difficult battles. You also can manually pick up health items, armor, and ammo, which adds an old-school touch, but also can be divisive depending on your preferred playstyle. I actually don't mind manually picking up health packs, though I prefer automatic pickups for ammo, especially when things get hectic. Health meanwhile regenerates like a modern shooter, but in increments of 20. If your life goes down to 24, for example, it only regenerates up to 40, adding a bit of extra strategy to hit point management. One positive is that the game can accommodate different playstyles. Taking out enemy commanders, for example, encourages stealth, as doing so without being discovered prevents the arrival of a swarm of foes. Cover shooter lovers, meanwhile, don't get a pure cover mechanic, but can peek in various directions by holding down a button. You also can run and gun and dual wield for a more aggressive approach. Based on your playstyle, you also unlock perks that can help you out. The perk system could have been executed better though, but it's still a nice option to have. Enemy AI, on the other hand, is a bit mixed. On one hand, I like their propensity to flank you, which can get you killed should you pick a poor spot to make your stand when things get crazy. Like Justin Bieber with a carton of eggs, however, they also have their fair share of brain-dead moments, such as when they move around aimlessly or just stare at you. Another downside is that the game does not have a multiplayer mode. But just like I gave Titanfall good marks for sticking with multiplayer only but doing that really well, I am also giving Wolfenstein high marks for sticking with just the story mode and delivering a good experience. Playtime can take up to 20 hours, but can also go shorter depending on your playstyle and propensity for exploration or lack thereof. Ultimately, whether or not Wolfenstein works for you depends on your shooter preferences. If you're all about multiplayer, then this game is not for you. If you love a meaty campaign with a good story, however, the New Order delivers the goods. Add extras like the Wolfenstein 3D Easter egg and the encouragement of a second playthrough, and there's a lot to like here for lovers of pure shooters.